Hello everyone, this is Waldorf,
And it's a Statler.
and now we have Battle Report 233,
233.
which was a Warbands game.
Yes, it was.
6-player Warbands.
Yes.
800 points apiece. This is the Waldorfians versus the Statlerites. Orcs...
At Huzzah Hobbies.
At Huzzah. Orcs, Beast Herds, and Empire of Sonstal versus Dwarves, Saurian Ancients, and Highborn Elves.
Yes.
Moving on. So the Orcs took a Goblin King. I took a Goblin King General. Light armor, paired weapons, Hero's Heart on a chariot. 10 Feral Ed Bashers with paired weapons. 9 Nashers in a herd. A scrap wagon and a skewer. Our Beast Herd guy went minimalist. He took a Minotaur Chieftain with paired weapons. 15 Wild Horns and 4 Minotaurs. And then our Empire guy took a Marshal with plate, shield, pistol, and the Hero's Heart. 15 Halberdiers, 5 Militia, 6 Handgunners, 11 Imperial Guard, and 5 Riders.
Statlerites, we had Dwarven Holds, who had a Thane with Shield Bearers, was his general. 7 Handgunners, 10 Greybeards, and a Gyrocopter. Or bomber? It's actually a bomber, I believe.
Oh, he took a bomber, didn't
Yeah,
he?
yes.
Yeah, I was wrong. Okay.
Then the Saurian Ancient, it was a Cayman Ancient without the S. 2 Skink Hunters with musicians each. 3 Cayman and a Spearback. The Highborn Elves had a Mage Adept on the Chariot, which is an Adept of Pyro. 15 Spear Elves, 5 Sword Masters, and a Lion Chariot.
Yeah, the 2 Chariots is tough, and Pyro's tough.
Yeah. Yes, Pyro's actually pretty bad in these games.
Because you got small units. Taking a mage though is kind of a, I don't know, it's kind of a risk in these games. So this was the board. There's still, I think we're already. I didn't get a picture till we already started moving on the first turn. I believe. Yeah, because we've already moved. The objectives across the center are worth 1 point apiece. The one that starts in your deployment zone is worth 1 point. One in your opponent's deployment zone is worth 2.
Right, meaning that if they're 1 or 2, depending on who has them.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you grab the one in your opponent's, it's worth 2. The one in your own is only worth 1.
If you hold it yourself, it's worth 1. Yeah.
So there you go. They had a crippled gyro bomber, which looks like a copter on the ground over there on the far right.
Yes, you see the sparks flying behind it.
It does. So we had what do we have? A pair of ruins, a couple forest, hill, some buildings with some fences, and a
Water
lake
feature. Yep.
in the bottom right. And then you can see we kind of mixed deployment. Everyone's kind of blended together.
Yeah, that wasn't the original plan on our side, but it seemed
Wasn't really on ours either.
Yeah.
I was going to go hard left, and then I don't know why I ended up. Anyway. Oh, and then somebody needed to hang back and get this marker because you have to be within 6 inches
4.
of it.
We did 4.
We do 4?
Yeah.
You have to be within 4 inches of it at the end of turn 2 to score it.
Right.
Because you don't score on turn 1, you start scoring on turn 2.
Right.
So I decided to hang back with my chariot and keep an eye on it and score it and then keep an eye on it. We probably should have used something else for this. This is probably dumb.
Like those handgunners?
Yeah, that ended up doing absolutely nothing the whole game. Yeah, that would have been a good choice. So anyway, so we've done our vanguards and you can see the riders over there on the top right.
Right.
Moving up. Other than that,
and you've started your movement.
Yeah, we've already done most of our movement at this point. I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, the riders up on the flank. That's the Minotaurs under the watch.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's a scrap
with
wagon.
His general in there. And there's a scrap wagon.
Back there under his bicep.
It's under his bicep. Yeah. Okay. He's
Over
like covering everything.
He is. So they have that. Because we went. The Waldorfians went first.
Right.
There's a scrap wagon. And that's about it. and my 9 Nashers leading the charge.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's
So it's a better picture on the right hand side of the
angle.
board.
Yeah,
And the 6 sword, five sword masters, or 6 in the woods.
5, I believe.
5. Okay. So there you have it.
And
that's going to end our turn.
Okay.
So you guys.
I think it's just a top shot.
There you go.
Then we moved. The skink hunters kind of moved over to the side. The spearback kind of came forward to get a little pot shot off. I thought that the dwarves were going to move forward based on our conversation, but they didn't. So I changed formation with the Croxagores just so I could get from being stuck behind everything. The mage kind of positioned himself so I could do a magic missile. So he was slightly behind both the swordmasters and the handgunners, which also stay stationary. The swordmasters came up. Let's look at the other side. The skinks came forward and just occupied the ruins.
On our turn. Yeah, on our turn,
actually,
the riders that came forward shot at the chariot.
And caused 2 wounds on it. Sorry,
the lion
chariot. Missed that. And then on our turn, we were going to do a shoot at it, but our other player decided to charge with his chariot. The riders ended up running, which made it so we couldn't drop bombs or be within short range with our shooting with our skinks. So probably actually helped the riders out, but we did get some shooting and we did manage to kill a couple of them.
Okay.
But
and you see the swordmasters come.
They passed their panic check. Actually, the gyrocopter killed a couple, and the skinks managed to bounce off their armor. I believe this is magic.
Must have been.
Yeah, I believe it's magic because I think he pyroclastic flowed these guys, and then I think
we stopped the pyroclastic flow, and the fireball went off.
Yeah, and then there was a fireball, and then the D3 on top of that.
Right.
And then I think the handgunners shot at those guys instead of the other guys and left you.
They
just
did
1.
They shot me down to 1.
Yeah. And my spearback only had 1 target, which was him.
Yeah, the spearback. There he goes. Spearback shot him off.
Yes.
Such a bad life. So anyway, there we have that, and that's going to go into turn 2.
Yep. So
that's
scoring starts at the end of this turn.
So let's see what we've got. Turn 2.
Somebody left a toupee in that photo.
So somebody left their what?
Toupee in that photo.
Did they? Don't know what you were referring to. Have to go back and look now. What are you talking about?
Keep going.
Oh, one back?
Yeah. At the bottom of the picture.
Oh, yes. At the top of his head.
Yes.
He wouldn't move. I had to take a picture over.
He bought our own tribble.
So, the Minotaurs declared a charge on the Swordmasters.
Spear elves.
The Swordmasters.
Swordmasters first.
And the Swordmasters figured they were going to die from the impact, so they fled.
They were 11 away, and we decided it was better to flee just in case.
Well, no, they were closer.
I think they were still... Were they closer?
No, the Spear Elves ended up being 11 away.
Yeah, no, I thought they were both 11s.
Thought they were much closer.
Okay.
Anyway, so they fled
with them.
And the Minotaurs redirected,
the Spear Elves, which were 11 away, and he decided
why not
to stand.
And managed to roll the 11.
Because he said he's not going to roll an 11.
Right, and did.
And he did.
And, of course, they got into him in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's good in the woods, because at least they won't be steadfast.
Yeah.
If he doesn't kill them all.
And it's also his mage is right behind the spirit guys. So.
Yeah, you mentioned that earlier, I think. The riders, of course, rallied and came forward.
And decided that they would try to kill off this chariot.
Right.
With shooting.
What we were hoping is they could put a wound on it, and I could finish it maybe with the bolt thrower that's all the way in the back.
Yeah.
Is what we were looking for with the bolt. Yeah, that's it
right
there. So, other than that, the scrap wagon comes forward up here behind them, and the Ferals and their buddies, Empire buddies, following behind them.
Everybody came forward except for the handgunners.
And I stayed back to stay within 4 of this, because it is the second turn and have to be there.
Could have just set up that bolt thrower.
Oh no, it was set up there for one specific reason, because it was freaking the high elf player out.
Yeah.
He didn't know where it was going. So he did Did he do 1 wound and I did the other one? Is that how it ended up being? Or did I do 2 wounds to that chariot?
I think you killed it.
I think I did
actually.
2. Yes. So the...
He said you wouldn't hit, and he said you wouldn't wound, and he said you
Right.
wouldn't get enough wounds, and you did all.
Well, the bet was with if I would hit more than 2 all through the night.
Correct.
Because we
That
thought
was
we
the
were going to
other
get 2 games in.
Yeah.
And I was betting, I took the under.
Yes.
But it did get 1 hit here and put 2 wounds on the chariot, killing it.
Yep.
Elsewhere, the Minotaurs come in and took 4 wounds.
They took 4. One of those was actually from earlier. Somebody shot at him or something.
Yeah, but I mean, he removed a model and put an extra
And a
wound on him.
yes.
So, but then they just hammered them.
Yeah, they pretty much.
Blew him right out and overran into the chariot. The mage chariot.
And I think just how they happened to be set up, the remnants of the elves, actually there were some, but they had no place to go.
Right. They ran.
So they landed on top of the chariot and they couldn't fit.
There's not enough room in the
table.
corner. Yes. Correct.
So turn 2, things aren't looking so good.
Turn 2, things are looking pretty good. And then we're going to the bottom of turn 2.
Yep.
Which is you guys.
All right.
And,
so
yep.
desperate times. Nobody had a line of sight to the Minotaurs. Not that anyone really wanted to fight them. The Croxagores kind of turned and backed off a little bit to prepare for a countercharge. The character left, thinking after this Minotaur killed his chariot, he was going to charge whoever he wanted and kill whoever he charged.
Right.
So
set him up for a countercharge or
right,
something.
so set him up maybe, or to run away, whatever the case was. The skinks actually had lost one in your turn to shooting from long range bow fire.
Yeah, those guys in the ruins.
And with all the guys coming up, I pulled them behind the hill. The spearback also pulled behind the hill to try to pluck off some. I think I was trying to get rid of your
scrap wagon.
Scrap
maybe?
wagon, yeah. And on the other side, I believe his sword masters
Not the other
rallied.
side. His sword masters rallied? Yes, they did.
Yeah, and then.
So you elected not to make that flank charge onto his 2
Correct.
riders.
Well, first the way it was positioned. It's like I kind of crooked, so I could be in, I could be out. Then I elected not to do it because of the leadership, and that was a clear mistake. It's like, if I lose a couple guys, I'm on a 6. I'm probably going to run away. It wasn't worth it, but I should have.
And it looks like your spearback did put 2 wounds on my scrap wagon.
Yes, but it wasn't enough. And the gyrocopter decided not to. Part of the reason I didn't charge is because what we had talked about was we were going to shoot off those guys, and
the gyrocopter left you to it.
and then the gyrocopter left. But I still think, okay, I'm okay.
You've got 6 to his 2.
Exactly. I got 6 shots, hitting on 4s, wounding on 4s.
And he's got a 4-up save.
He's got a 4-up save, so
That doesn't work out too well, does it?
yeah,
You should hit 3, wound 1.5, and he saves half of that.
yeah.
Hmm.
So if I get 1, he gets a
But if
panic
you get
check.
1, it's a panic check, and
Right.
he might go.
And he's already made 2 leadership checks with that unit, so the
And they're back to the middle.
yes. Not sure what that's a shot of.
Not sure. It's still your turn, I think.
Yep.
And at the end of that turn, we collected 3 points.
Oh, you didn't get a picture of it. Of course, the Minotaurs just
Oh, and obliterated them.
the chariot, and then they turned towards the. Can't really
Yeah,
see
still
it.
don't have it there. They're still facing away.
Yeah, they turned so they could see pretty much they could see both dwarf units and the Croxagores
Right.
in their front arc.
Correct. And if you look at this, we've got the center one, we've got our own back here,
Right.
and we've got this one on the left.
Right.
You guys have this one because you have multiple units
No.
too. Yeah, we gave you this one.
Yes.
And no one has the one on the
Correct,
right because
correct,
there's
correct.
only 2 units there.
Right.
So it ended up being a 3-1 score for the Waldorfians.
Yep.
And that's what it looks like going into top of turn 3.
Correct.
Like how I did this. Looks natural.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's how the Minotaurs are facing going into the top of turn 3.
There we go. Yes.
Actually, the way they're facing, they could only get the guys.
Yes. Oh, that's right. He had like a 15-minute conversation between the three of you deciding which way that unit was going to face.
Between the two of them. I took no part in this conversation.
I saw three people sitting there talking every move.
So anyway, so that's what it looks like. The Minotaurs declare the charge on the handgunners who flee, and the Minotaurs failed their redirect, if I recall.
Yes, I believe that's what it was. They either failed the redirect or they failed their charge.
They failed their... Oh, no, sorry. They had not at this point.
Yeah.
So the Minotaurs declared the charge at the handgunners.
Right.
The Minotaurs did fail their redirect.
Okay.
And so then go to the next unit. The unit of Wildhorns charged the flank of the handgunners.
Right.
Which again, flee and because of the spacing, bounce through everything and go all the way off the board.
Right.
Because again, there wasn't enough space back behind this unit for
just the way they ran. Yeah.
So it ended up being a failed charge. The Minotaurs were facing out this way. If you remember, they rolled like a max of 2 for their charge and just wheeled 2 towards this spot where the guys went off the board.
Right.
Elsewhere, the Ferals came up, got on the hill. You can see the militia moving up, and his halberdiers coming up behind the Ferals, making sure those skinks don't make a dash across the hill.
Right.
Just tying you down.
Indeed.
You can see the rear of my chariot turning around here to face back, waiting for that bomber. And the scrap wagon tried a really long charge into the swordmasters.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a long way. But got this way, enough to threaten them, and I did get my 2 shots off with my throwing weapons.
There you go.
Didn't manage to hurt anybody, though. And the 2 riders came around to the side and managed to kill 2 skinks.
Yep.
Despite the fact they did not go into the ruins and took another -2 to hit because of that.
Yep.
But that's what happens there. So now, like I said, I've moved away from because we own it. Once you own one of these, they're yours until somebody takes it from you.
And you want to position yourself with the gyrocopter coming around.
Correct. So that's what it looks like. And we're going to go into your turn.
Looks like it. So the gyrocopter charged the bolt thrower that was on the back edge.
Yeah, I forgot about that. It was still there, right?
Yeah.
There it is. Oh, you can't see it.
You can't see it. Barely see it on the tip there.
Okay. Yeah, he charged me and went down and killed me.
And then, I guess, go to the next photo.
Did he kill me or just move forward and shoot me off? I think he might have just...
Oh, he shot you off because he was afraid to charge you, yes.
Right.
That's right. He bombed you and then he ran out of bombs.
He bombed me and rolled the whatever it was.
The 6.
Yeah.
And then he shot you off with his gun to finish you off. Yeah, so he got rid of you by shooting at you and turned the...
Actually, I think he bombed me off because I think he shot my chariot later in the turn.
Okay.
So I think he bombed me off.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, and then he shot my chariot for a wound.
Right. The skinks in the ruins turned the face to see if they could get one more wound on his guys. Then we just decided the game was pretty bleak as far as things were going, so we would just try to get rid of these Minotaurs and send everything into them. There was
all in.
People wanted to only send a couple units, and it was like, well, no, if we're gonna do it, we gotta do everything, and then face them wherever we can.
Right.
So the general, I forgot why he opted not to charge in.
He was out.
Well,
it was going to be a longer charge, and you weren't going to fit, I don't think.
Yeah. Oh, he could have gotten in. I think. I think it was a distance. It was a distance. That's why I didn't want to take a chance of him sitting out there and then getting charged in the flank.
Right, because the feral lords are still sitting up on top of the hill. Right.
So they all charged in, and so the swordmasters are in the back. We got the dwarves in the front, and the other Croxagores and things. Then the general comes over to the other side. The spearback backs away to shoot at probably the Ferals
on the hill,
correctly.
I think.
Yeah. And I think I rolled a 3 for shots.
Yeah, because you didn't do anything, if I recall.
And then the skinks came forward to chaff you up, just so you wouldn't intercede quite right away. And I think that's
pretty much it.
About it, yes. And then I think you lost maybe 1 feral out of all that shooting. There's a wound on the gyrocopter. On the chariot from him shooting.
He shot me with that.
Yeah, my skinks managed not to do anything to his riders.
Oh, and you did kill a feral too. I think he killed 2. I think he killed 1 off each corner.
Okay, maybe it was 1
We'll see. At least 1, but maybe.
Well, it was only one with the spearback.
Okay.
'Cause I remember rolling the 3, and then I didn't hit. And, anyway, so we have the melee, and the swordmasters kill like 2 of them. They then turned to what was the general, and the one guy like turned around and then killed all but one of the swordmasters.
Right. And I think only the general fought the swordmasters. I think the other guy hit your crocs, your Cayman, and put the 2 wounds on
Yes, and then the one guy was there, and then the Cayman and the dwarves. I think we wiped out the unit at the end.
I think wasn't the one guy left?
I think the general was left.
The general was left.
Yeah.
But you ran, or did you kill him?
I think we ended up running him down.
Yeah, there's the wound
Unless
on him.
yeah, we'll see in a second. I can't remember. Still got that going.
Swordmaster in the back. There you go. So he ran, and you guys all chased him.
Did we? I don't think we all chased him.
Oh, you didn't, did you?
No.
Because neither one of those 2 units moved.
Right.
I think the Swordmaster's alone.
I think it's just a swordmasters, because I know that I'm pretty sure
Swordmaster.
Master, yeah, the dwarf. I'm pretty sure just
Surprised that you would let him go, though.
turned to face.
Or did
Keep
you
going.
kill him?
We may have killed him. The dwarf lord may have killed him. I don't recall.
The dwarves look like they've turned to face. You've turned to face with the Cayman. And the sword guy looks
Has
like
also
he's
turned to
about
face.
where he is.
So we
I
killed
must have
him.
just killed him outright.
Yeah, the dwarf lord must have killed him.
Yeah, could have
Yeah.
been. Okay. There you got it. So that's where we're going to end that turn, I think. Oops.
No, now it's your turn.
The
bottom, yeah.
Did I skip the spot? I must have skipped the spot. So now it's the top of turn 3.
So the scoring on the previous turn was...
I know I have it. That's weird. Okay. So this...
so we had won that. So we had 1. I think we had 1 plus the...
it was another 3-1. Because
1,
again...
2, you had the 3 in the middle.
We've got the 2 in the middle in ours.
2 in the middle.
And our
the gyrocopter hadn't gotten to you yet. So yes.
You still own yours, and the one over there is contested.
Right.
So it was still
3-1. Correct.
Okay.
So now it's the beginning of your turn.
Goes back to the beginning of our turn, and you can see the Imperial Guard have charged into the dwarves. Both the halberdiers.
Right.
Talk about the needing not enough dynamite.
There, but
Ferals and the halberdiers charge into the skinks. And over here, the riders finally walked into the ruins.
And that's looking ahead because he managed to shoot off 2 more skinks.
And the scrap wagon takes 3 dangerous checks, failing on 2s.
Decided
1s and 2s, to go in after the swordmaster.
Yes.
And I go in and smack the swordmaster, pass all 3 of my dangerous terrain, and get in there and smack the swordmaster. Overrun again. Taking 3 more dangerous terrains on 2s.
And passing all those.
And passing all those and slamming into the rear of the
Cayman. Yep.
Yeah. About average. Because the other thing is each dangerous terrain I fail with this thing takes D3 wounds.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I mean, there's no chance he gets through there, but...
That's why we roll dice.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. We got that. The ferals, because we double charged the skinks, I was able to get far enough to the right to get the overrun into your spearman.
Yeah, overlap.
So the skinks managed to take down a halberdier.
Yep.
But we smashed them. And I overran into the spearback.
Mm-hmm.
And lucky for me, like I said, the scrap wagon's keeping the Cayman off me.
Right. I don't think that would matter, but...
no, because those guys in my flank would have crushed me.
Oh, maybe.
Especially with their general buddy. Oh, the general buddy's facing forward. I forgot about that.
Correct.
He can't see him.
Correct.
Anyway. And that's going to end.
Well, there's the fight here with the dwarves and the Empire guys. Not much happened there, but...
no, it was kind of a slap fight on that first round.
Yeah.
And then on your turn, you ended up shooting the guy... shot off this guy. Put another wound on him.
Yeah, the gyrocopter got within 4 of the objective. It's not this turn. I think it's in the wrong spot.
Yeah, I think it's just put in the wrong spot. Yeah, because you guys haven't gone yet.
We haven't gone yet. Yeah, that's for the previous turn.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
So now it's us. And what happened here? So
The only guy you had free.
I think the fight with the humans and the dwarves. I think one dwarf got killed and like hardly anybody died.
Yeah,
it was a big whiffle back.
It doesn't look like any of the Imperial Guard are dead.
Yeah, I think he may have caused a wound on his general. I mean, that might be next round. I can't remember when that happened, but yeah.
Right, and you can see the. He's got 2 wounds on him.
Yeah, that's from the handgunners and bow shots at him.
Doubt it. I mean, I've got 2 shots, and I don't know. I failed to charge. I tried to charge him and failed, so I wasn't shooting at him. Anyway, don't understand. Up here on our turn, they did manage to kill one of the skinks, but he made his leadership check and stuck around. So back to your turn.
Right.
I think the skink just did what? Moved out of arc.
I'll see what's next.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So there you go.
So gyrocopter was shifting.
Yeah, he shifted over here and shot me again.
Thought he got within 4 of the objective.
He was last turn. I don't know.
The previous turn? At some point he got within 4 of the objective.
Yeah, it's confused now because it's not looking right.
Yeah. Okay.
Something got mixed up.
Or you may take the next photo. Yeah, something got mixed up. So there's that. I think he's in 4 at this point. It's just
okay because he doesn't have a base. It doesn't look like it.
Right. He's within 4 and he shot at you and caused another wound on your chariot.
Got it.
Skink turned the face and managed to get another one of the riders, but the riders,
of course,
passed their leadership again, so they didn't run away. What's going on? Let's see.
Because my charge into the back of the Cayman was an overrun.
Right.
Oh, we haven't done the fight yet. Your guy just walked around behind.
My general walked around to get behind the Cayman and the rest of the army.
Right. In case that scrap wagon does manage to.
Well, I figured you were going to beat my guy and turn the face. I didn't want to be charged by these guys.
Right.
And then I didn't want to go out there because his other guys were sitting in the field.
So the scrap wagon managed to kill a Cayman, but you put the 2 wounds on me and killed me.
Yeah, it caused 2 wounds, I think.
Must have done 3 because I think you were carrying.
Already had 2.
Oh, you're right. So 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is fairly low for impact. But
yeah.
I think you made good saves.
You didn't get that many, and then I made a couple saves. Yeah. Right.
But the ferals, of course, smashed the spear back and turned
the face, which was expected. And then a little fast for me. And then the dwarves and the humans followed a bit more. And there was a little bit of trimming of guys, but now the human general has 2 wounds on him.
You did a wound. I think you did a wound to him and a wound to a guy.
Yeah, or 2 wounds to guys, but
there's only 1 missing.
Yeah, the dwarves were winning the fight barely.
Yeah, I think they won that one by 1.
Yeah, because there was the banners were on the Empire side was helping too.
You should only have 1 banner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the dwarf player didn't have a banner.
Oh, he didn't at all. Okay. Yeah. All right. So, and then the end of that one, we only scored 2, and you guys scored 3 because you had ours.
Right, because Gyrocopter claimed the 1.
Correct. So you had yours and ours for 3, and we had the 2. We had the center on the left.
And the one on the left, yep.
And the one on the right was still challenged. So we're moving on to turn 5. Moving on to turn 5, that's what we look like. You can see, there we go. So the ferals decided, because of the overrun, if they hit the dwarves, they could overrun into the Cayman.
Right.
They decided to go into the dwarves and end that fight. You can see the halberdiers come forward, and the militia came forward as well.
Right.
The wild horns finally came forward a bit. Yeah. They're tentative out there after they saw their Minotaur brothers get crushed.
Well, I think he failed a couple charges.
Yeah, well, he really had nowhere to go in this one because you're boxed in. Because
I think he was supposed to go first. The handgunners, and they ran away, and I think he charged the same time as the human guys did, but he failed his charge. He didn't get in.
Oh, okay.
Because it was supposed to be a double charge.
It was a double charge that turn.
Only the 1 guys got in, and we thought, "Ooh, we're going to win this," but it didn't work out that way.
Yeah. And then over here on the right, you can see the chariot is pulled off just to try to get within 4.
And the handgunners have turned to shoot also.
Yeah, they're going to need 6s at that range. But the we smashed the dwarves and
Yes.
overran. And because of the overrun angle, I clipped the Cayman, which let me
Right.
redirect into them.
That's pretty crazy. You actually didn't kill that many. You just,
Yeah, we broke them.
but you, I know you broke them, but you didn't kill that
We
many.
didn't kill a ton.
Yeah. But you chased them down. So.
But it's the Imperial Guard chased
Yeah.
them. Well, I
You both did.
forgot which kata. We both chased them, but I got
Yeah.
to overrun into
Right.
these guys. Imperial Guard headed into the woods.
Yep. I was hoping for a miracle they would hold and I could countercharge in the flank.
Yep. And this is how this one ended.
Yep.
So there we go. That's going to be what it looked like going into turn 6. Should be a scorecard.
Well, that's us now.
Oh, you. Forgot about you.
Yeah.
Going into your turn.
So what happened? I decided to not. Oh, you. I think in my turn, I think I charged my general in with the 2 Croxagore that were
Oh,
there.
you did. Correct.
Yeah.
And I killed the...
Hoping that would be enough.
Right.
You ended up
I ended up killing the...
one, or he had what, 1 wound on him?
There was
already?
one guy with 1 wound, so I
Yeah,
ended up
so I think-
causing 5 wounds and killing 2 Croxagores, right?
Well, there's only 2 left, and you killed because one had died.
I killed 2. That's the dead one in the back. That's your general up front. He was left alone after that round of combat.
Oh no, he's still alive, isn't he? The guy that's running.
Oh, he is.
Yeah. He's
Good point.
He's running with 1 wound on him.
Okay.
The general charged in, and it was kind of good after bad, but kind of desperate times. Killed a few guys, but lost the
Yeah.
combat.
I only killed 2 of me, which is odd.
Yeah, lost the combat, and then my Croxagore unit broke and ran, but the general stayed.
Got it. Okay.
And then I think we. Oh, it's
And you
still
guys
there.
are still dancing around over there
Right,
in the
and I
ruins.
tried to take a shot. I had another chance at this guy and hit him and bounced off his armor again. Gyrocopter shifted around, shot off your
It did.
chariot.
It was upsetting.
Yeah, and I think that was my last chance trying to get rid of that freaking rider.
There we go. And a clearer picture of that.
Yep. And then we're back into your turn.
Without scoring?
Yep.
I could have sworn all these scored. Oh.
Here's-
Okay. So
Just put him in the wrong place.
put it in the wrong place. I missed by 1.
So at the
So
turn-
at the end of that turn,
Of the previous turn.
the end of the previous turn, it's 2-2. You have 2 for our deployment. We have the left and the center.
Right.
You're the one in your deployment's challenged still,
Right.
and the one on the right still
Yep.
challenged. So going into turn 6, I'll back up for a minute.
Yes.
Turn 6 in our shooting, the rider finally managed to pick off that
The
last guy.
So the
That was going to be a fight to the last man. No one thought about failing a break check in any of that nonsense. And the Ferals managed to kill your general, but took a beating doing it. I think he killed 3 more. Because I had 1 in the back before. So they killed your general, but I could not overrun or anything, so just sat there. And the 5 guys on the hill, of course, took shots down at that guy
Right.
and couldn't finish him.
Oh, in my turn, he didn't. Oh no, that was not. It's your turn still.
And that was still my turn.
Yeah.
And on our turn, the handgunners moved up to challenge this objective,
Right.
rather than shooting.
Yeah.
And then now it's your turn.
And then he was afraid to charge the powerful handgunners.
Right. So,
So
he ended up only killing 1.
He shot him trying to panic him off. He only got 1, and they didn't panic. And I don't think. And I
And
think
your guy failed to rally.
I think he failed to rally. I actually ran off the table. I didn't pick him up because it was done.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And that was where it ended, I believe.
Yep.
And then final scoring on the last one, of course.
Yep.
We had 5, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The only one we were missing was the one in our deployment zone,
Correct.
and
Which was contested.
which was contested. So, right. So it ended up being 5 to us,
So yes. So
which finished it
a
15-7.
general curb stomping for the Statlerites.
Curb stomping, as well as
The-
pretty sure we were ahead in points at that point.
oh,
as
I'm
well.
pretty sure. Yeah, absolutely.
So, of course, we only use points as a tiebreaker because our primaries in these are the secondary. What normally is a secondary objective is our primaries in these games.
Right, and then only if you get a tie.
Right. Do you go to points?
Even though we didn't do that in the last game, but we go to points.
Yeah. Anyway, again, this is I highly recommend 6-player game versions of this when you can.
Yeah, it's always a lot of fun.
Yeah, because somebody's going to do something that you don't want them to do, and
it's always great when you have a conversation with your
ally,
and then they do something completely different, exactly. And you have a moment to give them the dumbfounded face, or they do it to you,
right? You do it to them. Yes,
yeah, whatever's going on. Yeah, I think the critical thing here was that those spearmen, they had no reason to be within 11.
And the mage had no reason
to
be behind.
And the region had no reason to be behind two charged targets.
Two overrun targets.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then he would have been off, I mean, at that point just fleeing just because the risk was too great if they made it. Yeah, it's 11, but still. And then
still 11, still there.
And we had some challenges with our targeting, selection, coordination. People decided they wanted to shoot at certain things, whether it made sense or whether that was...
the bolt thrower,
the right thing to shoot at or not.
I was taunting. That's what I think. I did hit the bolt. I did. The bolt thrower hit the gyrocopter and put the 2 wounds on it.
Oh, was the bolt thrower
yes.
did that? Okay, yes,
it was
because it got at least 2 hits.
Because it did get 2 hits.
Because that was one of your criteria.
Well, yeah. I went under. The over under was 2.5, so
okay.
I took the under and actually passed. But I was worried.
Right.
But yeah, so the bolt thrower hit the gyrocopter and angered it, and that made it come at me instead of sticking around dealing with the riders like it was supposed to. Which it, had it.
No, I think he shot at you when he was going at, because it took him a couple moves to get to you.
Did it?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, one way or another, that's where the 2 wounds on it came from, not the handgun.
That's correct. It was the bolt thrower. Now that you remind me.
So bolt throwers. Anyway, like I said, it's fun. Small units that you would not see in a game or not see do well in a game turn out to do fairly well in these.
Right. Just because the nature of the smaller units, things that aren't good in a full size game are good, and vice versa. Things that you would take in a standard game you would never take in this. But it gives you an excuse to use all your different models just to use them.
Correct. Highly recommend it. Magic, by the way, this was asked on the website, and I forgot to. The YouTube on the last game, and I forgot to answer it, and I will go back and answer it. But if you hear this first, we do standard Magic per side. It's you flip over the card, that's what you get.
Yep.
So it usually ends up. A lot of times there'll be no Magic. Sometimes there'll one side. I've never seen both sides take Magic.
Well, it's not uncommon that it's more recent people have been taking Magic users.
Right, because they realize the power of pyromancy in these little games.
And particularly if you have a decent mount that you can put your mage on without paying too many points.
Right.
So,
and the ridiculous 20-point upgrade to put that guy on a chariot.
Right.
It's just crazy.
So that kind of helps, and it's actually a credible fighting unit against some of the smaller things because of the impact it's. But yeah, it's just regular Magic. But between that and normally it's only an apprentice. So you have 2 spells. So adept. I'm sorry, not an apprentice. Yes, an adept. So you only have 2 spells. So one can usually get through still. But every so often people try to do too much, and quite often only none get through, or they lose their mage quite early, like in this game. And it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Well, I said I think we've had like 3 of these games with mages.
Yeah, and they die early.
And 2 of the 3 they've died early. So yeah.
All right. Well, again, like I said, highly recommend giving it a shot and playing it. It's fun times.
Yeah, it's not competitive. It's just fun.
Now, a 3-player game going like this is going to take about 2 hours.
Especially when one side has to discuss it.
Because you end up talking a lot.
Yeah.
More than you should, actually. Because you talk a lot and you decide all these things and you don't do it anyway, so it ends up not mattering. It ends up being a waste of time. Anyway. All right, that's going to do it for now. Thanks for listening.
Until next time.